how do you handle giving constructive feedback, which is very difficult sometimes for visionaries?
So it's all, we call it like the sandwich technique. All right.
Tell me more about the sandwich.
You come in with something really good. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you so much in this job, and you bring all this great stuff and list it out and I love your energy, whatever, and then you say, but right in here, so there's the top of this, but right in here, I think there's some opportunities for improvement here. Yeah. And then again, if you're having a scorecard, a measurable, I think there's some opportunities to improve in here, and give me some ideas of how you think you could improve this or whatever. And then at the end,
letting them give their feedback.
That's the middle. And then at the end, you're like, hey, this was a great conversation. I have all the confidence. If you need something, come to me. Let's have this happen. So the next time we meet, we're on track.
So the kind of like the fluffy stuff at the top and the bottom, but the meat.
Yeah, because no one's going to listen if you just go into attack mode. They're just going to get real super defensive. You want to get their guard down. You also need to appreciate them, right?
Yeah, okay. And I often find when I'm giving constructive feedback, trying to educate, but then there's a thin line because you want to educate as to why this is important and why we should or you should care about this, right? Mm-hmm. But you want to do it in a way where you're not dumbing the content down or you're over educating people that already know. So how do you strike that balance?
So I think there's probably two ways I'd look at that. Okay. And I think AI can help in one way, which I'm exploring right now, right? Right now, first of all, maybe you didn't hire the right person, right? Mm-hmm. So
how many times do you ask yourself that question as a medpreneur?
Yeah, that's quite frequently the last 20 years, but now I'm not letting that happen anymore. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I just recently sat down with my AI technology partner who's going to help me, integrate things a little at a time. And one of the ideas I have is like right now, people just come to my front desk and leave their resumes, or we have something online on Instagram and they might leave a resume. Then my office manager has this folder of things, and like that's just a disorganized mess. So I told them, could we design a recruitment system? For example, you have something automated online, here's the positions that are coming up or coming available, submit your resume, and then AI could actually ask them questions.
Yeah.
To see if they're an A player, B player, or C player.
Yeah.
And then if an A player comes out from those questions, ping, it goes to my office manager. We just got an application from an A player. Please examine this person. Instead of this folder of just a bunch of A players, B players, C players, D players, people that are going to take your organization down, AI could help automate that so it takes the pressure off of, So I think that's one thing, So if you're having to have those conversations too often, it's probably you just didn't hire correctly, right? Mm-hmm. So then who does that go back to? It goes back to you, right? Of your systems, your processes. But I think if you're, you got to have those metrics. The conversation's pretty easy once you have your core values, your metrics. Hey, here's our values. If they're doing something in the core value arena, you sit down with them. Try to get 3 examples, not just one, because they'll try to wiggle out of one. Yeah. Oh, but this is what happened there. Okay, well, let me give you this next example. Well, and then by the third example, they're like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
But I think you don't come with full force and full accusation and stuff. You just gotta hey, the numbers, that's why everybody in the business having a number, assigning a number to everybody is so powerful.
What do you mean a number?
Okay, so let's say, so I have the receptionist. Your numbers are the no-show rate. I need the no-show rate to be here. And here's the strategies on how to get the no-show rate to get more into conformity, right? So you own the no-show rates, and this is what we're and you've talked to them, what do you think's reasonable? Here we are. Let's try to improve. Let's implement these strategies. So every person is assigned a number.
Very good. I had a guy on, Dr. Milad. Mm-hmm. He's a dentist and he's a great entrepreneur. He's basically built a dental empire. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he does that is so cool is he gives his entire staff a sales class.
Yeah.
He teaches them how to sell. And it makes sense because his point is, if the receptionist picks up and someone calls and they say, hey, I need a tooth extraction, and the receptionist says, well, we only do those on Monday and Friday, you know, he's and then they're just gonna hang up and say, okay, bye, I'm gonna call someone else.
I was gonna do it on Tuesday, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he's like, he figured out, he's like, hey, no, you have to funnel them in, get them in, get them in today. Hey, say we'll stay, you know, open later for you today or on those days or what have you, whatever the system is, but just teaching them to close the deal, having your staff where it's not just reliant again on the visionary. You have systems in place where you have your entire staff on the same page to close a deal.